Assemblywoman Maggy Krell, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So just to take a step back, I mean, technically it is illegal to even just sports bet online in California. I mean, for people who are seeing this happen with these prediction markets, how can people bet on politics?
It's a very good threshold question. I mean, I'm looking at this from the standpoint on, is there any good policy from wagering on elections? I don't see any public good from that.
Yeah, I mean, right now on the governor's race, we're recording this in the week, there's $13 million on the line between Kalshi and Polymarket in terms of who is the winner of the governor's race in California. And then also people can bet on like whether the billionaires tax gets on the ballot. I mean, where do you see lawmakers right now at our state capitol on this?
I think this is really disturbing. I mean, I think the sanctity of our elections is threatened when we let people bet on it. And what I'm really focused on is the lack of disclosures. I mean, I see this as another pathway for dark money in California elections. And what I mean by that is these predictability markets can actually have an impact on elections because people are looking at this the same way they look at polls. Is there a front runner? And they see the odds and they see how much is bet. And that could start to skew perception a little bit. But the difference between that and polls is there's no campaign disclosure that's required.
So who do you think should be disclosing this? Like elected officials generally, and then also candidates? And what exactly should they disclose?
Well, I think it's really, kind of a thorny issue. Candidates won't necessarily know when somebody's betting on them. So they don't shoulder all of the responsibility here. But then you also have, a natural way for, other actors to try and influence our elections. And that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say, we have enough of a problem already with dark money and PACs and too much money in politics. And yet now we're opening up this whole new playbook on it.
You sent a letter to the state's Fair Political Practices Commission earlier this month. Have you, just like offering to help with this, have you gotten a response or any discussions there?
I had a brief discussion with them. I haven't gotten any kind of formal response. But yes, it's an issue that I wanted to flag for them because I do think there's a potential for elections to be influenced by sites like Kalshi and Polymarket that are allowing public wagering to take place.
The governor signed an executive order last week that bans his appointees from influence from making these bets or allowing family, friends, et cetera, to benefit from them. Does that go far enough? I mean, should the same thing be done for state lawmakers, staff, people who have a say in legislation, Secretary of State? Like, any thoughts there?
Absolutely. First of all, I'm so glad that the governor, made that executive order. I think that's a really important step. I mean, what we're talking about here is insider trading, and we need to make sure that that is not occurring. And for its part, Kalshi and other sites, they don't want that either, right? Because it hurts consumer confidence in their product. That's good, but it doesn't go far enough because, like you said, there's all kinds of other people who could have insider knowledge that could be placing wagers through Kalshi, and these sites aren't necessarily set up to know, to screen. So I think it's definitely something that lawmakers need to think through and set better parameters to prevent the corruption of insider trading, but also prevent this larger corruption of wagering on elections and the potential for dark money.
The federal government, should they step up here? Should this really be their arena as opposed to just like leaving it to the states?
Yes. The federal government is very lax on enforcement on this, and that's a problem. I mean, federal preemption is an issue here. It is a difficult issue for states to legislate when there's a federal body responsible here, but I think there is some gray area and some places, such as disclosures, where states can step up, and that's what I'm looking at.
No, we really haven't seen this discussion. I mean, this is emerging technology, and now you see this as an emergent issue. There really hasn't been discussions at our state capitol about this, and the election is in June, and then again in November. Like, how quickly should there be action, if any, at our state level?
This is an emerging issue, and it's really important that we get it right. I don't know if it's an issue that we can, rush into in 72 hours, but it is something that we need to look at and begin to start talking through right now.
Because the federal government hasn't done anything really in this space at this point, I know different states are, just what does that mean for California? What does like the legal landscape, for lack of a better term, look like on this?
Yeah, good question. It's dynamic and it's quickly emerging, as you say. Right now in Nevada, for example, Kalshi's been blocked because it conflicts with Nevada's gaming laws. In New Mexico, the Attorney General has filed misdemeanor criminal charges against those wagers to try and keep that in check. Now in California, there was a case that was brought by tribal plaintiffs because the wagering conflicts with our own gaming compact that gives tribes exclusive authority over gaming. So that case is pending right now. I think it's going to be heard in the Ninth Circuit on April 16th. So we'll see where all those cases fall. But regardless, California should be thinking about how we can be a leader here, how we can ensure that our elections are fair and not influenced by dark money.
And actually, you mentioned the gaming tribes. We did have the leader of one of them on our program in October, and he said that, these predictive markets are their biggest concern at that moment. I'm sure nothing really has changed. And this was around a discussion about daily fantasy sports betting. Should the Attorney General issue a legal opinion? Should he be asked for one? Is there a space for the Department of Justice in California to step up here?
Sure, I think the Attorney General, has been helpful in clarifying what the law is in California and should continue to do so as these emerging issues come up, and if necessary, should take legal action.
Assemblymember Krell, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.